Positively Muskegon, it's Andy O'Reilly down at the USS Silversides War Memorial and Museum. It is really one of our great treasures here in Muskegon. Peggy Maniates.
Yes.
I was worried about the last name, and I blew the first name. Peggy Maniates is the curator here at the museum. It's going to be a busy, full summer of great things coming up down at the USS Silversides. I did a video a few years ago, and I might even throw it on the blog just to see if it reruns again, about the USS Silversides and the things I learned in just the little bit of research I did for a 3.5-minute video was remarkable.
It's amazing. You know,
This is a big deal to have on our channel.
it is. We're a very, very part of a very big select group of submarines that are still from World War II in the United States. Ours has the distinction of being actually in water. So many of the other ones are on land.
Yeah, they're dry docked.
They're dry docked, and ours is actually in the water, and when you're on it, you can feel it moving.
I know.
And if you find yourself in 79 of your best buddies, you can come all together and feel like it really was like to be a submariner.
Is that what it held, 80 people?
80 people.
Wow.
Yeah, it gave or take, you know, a few here and there, but the average number is about 80.
When people come out to the Silversides, what's their first reaction usually?
That's a real submarine, and it's here? How come I didn't know about it?
Right?
We joke we're like the best kept secret in Muskegon.
Yeah.
We get visitors from all around the world, and people still go, wow, it's out there. Or the other thing, you have a museum out there too?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody goes, well, I saw the submarine 20, 30 years ago, and I'm like, well, the submarine is exactly the same as it was in the most wonderful, pristine shape we can possibly keep it in.
Yep.
But boy, have we changed.
Yeah.
We've added a 20,000 square foot building with exhibits, and we're actually sitting in one right now. This exhibit will be up through the end of May, and it's on Navy divers, one of the unsung heroes of the military. They do salvage, they do grunt work, they spend time underneath the water, they do the welding, they do rescues. It's an amazing thing, but they're one of the unsung heroes.
Sure. What year is this that we're looking at behind us? Talk about this suit.
This is a 1948 diving suit.
Okay.
And we have him dressed completely as he would have, and he is in a cage that would have been lifted over the side. The suit itself weighs almost 75 pounds.
Oh.
The diving belt, right there, I have a replica on it because it weighs 85 pounds, and I could not get the mannequin to stand up with 85 pounds. The actual diving belt is in a case. The helmet is another 54 pounds.
Wow.
The boots are another 56 pounds or so. And the diver needed all that weight in order to be able to go down and stay down under the water to do what they needed to do.
Dangerous work.
Very dangerous work. They could do anything from welding, they could do salvage work, they could do rescues, they could do inspections. These men, it was up until recently, it was all purely men, that they would go down there and do the work nobody else wanted to do.
How about that?
One of the unsung heroes.
So this goes to the end of May.
This goes into the end of May.
What's the rest of the summer got coming up for us?
Well, at the Memorial Day weekend, the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend, we're going to have our 29th annual Lost Boats ceremony.
Talk about that.
That is a ceremony that starts at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning, and it's filled with history. It honors all the submariners that went down during World War II.
Scary.
And there is a lot of them. And their work was also so unknown because they're called the Silent Service because they went in, they were very stealth, they went out, and they did their jobs. But when a submarine went down, you typically lost the entire crew at one time. And so there are thousands of submariners that have gone down, and this is our chance to honor them. And it's very tradition-filled. It is run by the submarine veterans, and they follow a complete program and honor each of the 52 submarines that went down. And we have it on at 11 o'clock on the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend, and the museum is open to the public and free of charge that day. We have a band here. We're actually having an astronaut. Jim Riley is going to be out speaking that day, and it is just look at that,
You might have just sold a ticket.
Okay, well, I can't even sell you a ticket because it's free.
I'll buy one.
Okay, look, if he's going to buy one, he's got to come in for free. And so Jim Riley is going to speak, and at that point, we're also going to have a military band here playing, and we're going to have a free hot dog lunch.
Hey, dog, can't beat a hot dog for free.
Can't. And it's a wonderful chance. It's our chance to give back to the community and to honor all these veterans that did so much for us and asked for nothing when they came back.
through the rest of the summer. Anything else coming?
Then, when this exhibit comes down on Navy divers, we're going to be replacing it with an exhibit called Instruments of War.
Ooh.
And yeah, everybody says the same thing. It's a play on words. It's about the music of the wars. It's about the actual instruments that were used.
So I can't come and see a bazooka?
You can come and see a bazooka anytime you want to, but this time you're going to get to see the actual instruments that they used. The military bands, you're going to hear the music, you're going to hear the 12 bugle calls that the buglers made.
Fun.
You're going to see historic instruments that'll be out here. It's going to be broken into 3 sections. One will actually be the instruments that they played and brought into battle and how that they've been changed to be useful. You know, an organ that could be carried into battle, or the different types of instruments that they use, the drums and things. The first section of it will be the history of the national anthem, that it reflects every battle that America has been in.
Yep.
And then the third section is really, really special. Everybody's heard the song, Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy,
Yes.
Listen Me Be. Did you know that the person that inspired that song is a Muskegon resident?
Really?
Yes.
Ooh.
His name is Clarence Zileman,
Okay.
and he is cited in 35 different newspapers during the war as being the bugler that inspires that song.
How about that?
And so we've done a great deal of research into that, and he will be highlighted. As anything that we do here, we try and take the big picture of World War II
Sure.
and make it as local as possible.
That's awesome.
As you're walking around our exhibits, you'll see that the big story is always told, but we try and find someone local
Yeah.
that's been there. And to
Amazing
highlight
stories. And we should just reiterate too, if you're in town here, great. You've probably been down, you've probably gone by the submarine and the channel and things like that. You got to come in and you got to see what's going on inside this museum and everything to do with it, because it really is something to see and something to behold. And a lot of people put a lot of time and energy into keeping this thing
do.
afloat.
We're completely a nonprofit. We receive no funding from anyone other than the people that walk through the door.
Muskegon's 2 favorite word, nonprofit.
Hey, but we put it to good
Sure,
use. We
absolutely.
do. And so we get no funding, so it's just whatever walks in the door and donations. And because of that, we would not be so wonderful if it wasn't for all of our
Yeah.
incredible volunteers that come in and keep this place running on a day-to-day basis.
How many of these submarines are left, World War II submarines?
In the United States, 25.
25? I thought it was a little lower than that.
No, it's 25.
And to have one right here in the water.
Is amazing. Our closest counterpart is actually in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. And they actually had a shipyard, and they built submarines there during the war. And so that's why, yes, they built submarines during the war.
I honestly, I
and
can't.
if you ever want to think about it, they always used to talk in all the old movies that they'd go down and watch the submarine races.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I was thinking, why? And then it's like, oh,
You
yeah,
figured it
I
out.
finally figured out what you're going to go watch the submarine races for.
I hear the words Manitowoc, and I think I'm not even going to get a parking ticket in that town. I saw that thing on Netflix. I know what Manitowoc. No way. I'm not going to Manitowoc. Come to Muskegon and see the USS Silversides. It's a national monument. It's a historic place. It is really something that kids and families and everybody should see. Do we still have a pretty good handful of World War II vets?
It's dwindling
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah.
But we still have about 10 that come out on a regular basis.
Is that
2
right?
of our board members are World War II submarine vets.
Wow.
And on our lecture series that we have every spring, we still get about 8 out every single Monday night
That's
for
awesome.
those lecture series. And they
Awesome.
add such credence and such background. And just hearing their stories is just amazing.
I got to tell you, I got a great uncle that's a World War II vet. He was in a plane, and we had the B-17 come to Muskegon last year. And to give you an idea of the mindset of World War II era people, I was going to pull a few strings and get him a ride aboard.
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know a few people around town. It might have cost a couple of bucks, but whatever. And he turned it down because he was already on his way to Milwaukee to go for a ride in it again a couple months later, and he said he'd rather have somebody else get the seat.
That was so sweet.
The greatest generation, and
they are
it's
truly the greatest generation.
Yeah.
And they still look out for each other,
big time,
which is amazing.
big time.
And we're lucky that some of them actually started talking.
Yeah.
Because for so many years, which is common with so many of our vets,
Yep.
they don't start talking about their experiences until well past the time that they were in the military.
And that's what they're taught not to.
We're taught
You
not
know,
to. They
my
just
dad's a
keep it-
Vietnam guy. You can't get a word out about that.
No,
Still
it's
scary.
just they don't want to talk about it, and so we're blessed anytime that any of them want to come and talk. And we get that sometimes here. We'll come in and they'll take a look at something like this exhibit, and they'll say, "I remember."
Yeah.
And then the floodgates start opening and they start talking.
Perfect.
And it's wonderful. We've had more children of people come out here and say, you know, that's the first time my parent ever started talking about it. We saw something there, and then he just started talking.
It's overwhelming for everybody.
It is,
Yeah.
and we're just honored to be able to do that. And
We're honored to have it here.
no, we are.
Keep up the great work. The Silversides is open for the season. Make sure you come down here and check it out. It's beautiful. It's historic. You're going to love it. All these great displays inside the museum as well. Support this, support Muskegon, and be proud of our heritage right here. Thanks for tuning in, Peggy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Silversides downtown.
Bye-bye.
Down on the channel. Be there.